Hey, it's
Good morning.
happy July 17th.
Wow, already? It's Thursday.
It's Thursday. For many of you, the weekend begins tomorrow. Actually, for many of you, the weekend begins tonight.
I was gonna
We live
say
here in Fort Lauderdale.
it's a little different these
In
days.
Fort Lauderdale, this place starts jumping on Thursday night because everybody's flying into town. You'll see Spirit and Southwest. We fly right over our house.
Just perfecting the long
They're
weekend.
going to be about a minute apart, and it's starting at 2 p.m., one right after another, and landing.
It's true.
People come down here and party for the weekend. Anyway,
Yeah,
I
I like that.
I'm Gus Calabrese.
I'm Ashley Baptiste. We're with Utility Events and Conferences Connect.
So,
Welcome to the Meter Reader Live.
yes. You know what National Day it is?
Oh, what?
It's National Emoji Day.
Oh, that's right. We saw that on the news this morning.
Yes. And then it's also National Tattoo Day.
Okay.
Two of our kids have tattoos. We don't have any tattoos yet.
I don't.
Um,
I've done the temporary thing.
you kind of liked it.
I did kind of like it, but I don't want it there permanently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you should put something else besides like a.
A guitar. I had like a rock and roll guitar thing going. But
So-
it's just for a few days.
So we thought to tell you today, we wanted to talk about why we do the events we do. What the story behind the event. We told you the story behind us yesterday.
Story behind the event.
So I'm going
Like
to
behind
actually
the music.
begin
Okay.
with the Utility Change Management Conference.
Okay.
How did that come about? What's going on with it? Actually,
Happy to share.
I have my
the
hair down
story.
today.
Yeah,
and,
way to go.
and it's wet, and I actually got it over my. I have it down because it made my shirt wet. So
Nice.
anyway,
Thanks for telling us that.
well, you were staring at it.
No, I
Like,
was.
what is
I was
that?
sort of like, what's different about Gus's hair today? Yeah, okay. So yeah, a lot of times people are like, why? How do you choose the topics that you choose for the utility conferences that you host? So one of the things to mention about the Utility Change Management Conference, it actually started, our first one was 10 years ago this September. So this coming up this September 15th and 16th, we are celebrating our, oh, look at that. Gus made a logo. We're celebrating our 10th anniversary at that conference. And I think we should celebrate all year long because
I
that's
think so, too.
appropriate. So,
But wait,
yeah,
isn't
once upon
it
a time.
true? Isn't it
Yeah,
true
yeah.
that conference started at our kitchen table
it did.
in
conference
Broomall? Was that still Broomall?
No,
we
it was
were
in Wayne.
We were in Wayne.
We were in Wayne, Pennsylvania.
Wayne,
So
Pennsylvania.
here's how the topic came to be. Like, why this? Because I knew nothing about change management. So
I didn't know anything about change management even after we ran the first three events.
friend of
was still
ours, friend of mine, who I met when actually her son and my son were in preschool together. This is how this stuff happens. This is gold, right? She was studying for her master's in organizational development at St. Joseph University in the Philadelphia area. And then she moved to a West Coast city, San Francisco. She was there for a while. And then when she was visiting with some friends and family, came to visit our kitchen table and said, hey, I've got a conference idea for you. It's change management for utilities. So
And Ashley and I went like,
what's change management? I didn't know. So she explained that basically the utility that she was working for at the time in their enterprise change office allocated a certain percentage of the project amount. If it was a project over $1 million, I think it was over $2 million, that a certain percentage needed to be allocated to change management. Change management being what helps essentially grease the wheels for a project.
Actually, a perfect example.
Faster, less expensive.
The example I use all the time. I was working for a major Fortune 500 company. They were rolling out 4,000 new laptops to the staff.
Right.
Think about the logistics of 4,000 laptops.
And it's not just the logistics of the laptops. That's not the change management part. The change management part is getting people to start using.
We were going
the
from
new
old
laptops.
IBM-based system to a Windows-based system. Everybody had to learn.
Oh, wow, like with a mouse?
Yes.
Okay, so if you...
I remember we had
there was a day where you did everything on the keyboard, and then all of a sudden you had to learn how to use a mouse.
And our CIS people,
oh my
had custom keyboards. So they're like,
Oh yeah,
it wasn't
they knew all the shortcuts.
the
they
whole
knew
keyboard
all
was
the-
shortcuts. It was
Yeah.
just So
Yeah.
training those people on
start
these
using
new
a mouse?
laptops, a mouse. I mean, it was actually
Right.
a touchpad. It was actually one of those.
So
the
change
finger things
management is really the people side of change. So you can have these incredibly large projects, or not even that large of a project, of a new process, a process improvement, a technology shift. We're switching from this version of a software to this version of a software. The technology piece is one aspect of it, but getting your employees to start using and to start to make the change and start using the new process
So
is not so easy.
So one of my favorite things that came up at one of these conferences
Excuse me.
was they talked about swivel chair logic, where literally
It was in the contact center.
in the contact
They
center,
were using
literally
two different
two systems and all the information. So they would turn
They
their
had-
chair to get the
yeah, I'm like, I
information
don't
on
have
one
a swivel
system,
chair
and then
right
turn
now.
the chair back to get on the other thing. So that was the type of
Right.
stuff that
But anyway,
they change over. Anyway, so this is the 10th year anniversary of the Utility
Change Management Conference. So she said to me, hey, we're in this office. We're doing what we think are some pretty interesting projects and using different change management approaches and techniques. And we would love to benchmark with other utilities to see if they're doing anything, and if so, what they're doing and how they're doing it, just so that they could maybe show off a little, but also to gain knowledge and gain experience from other utilities around change management. And that was it. So that following September, that was in January, that we had that little chat. And then in September of that year, we hosted our first utility change management conference in San Francisco. So excited to say, when we first started doing that, it was twice a year. It is now 3 times a year. And again,
So we've done this over 20 sometimes.
Yeah. So it's a great opportunity
And we have another one come up in September.
Community, and yes,
Vegas.
September 15th and 16th in Las Vegas at Southwest Gas.
So the other conference we do,
What is the other conference?
one of the other conferences we do is the Power Conference Advanced Women in Energy. And this conference happened to be my idea.
Wow.
We were looking for new conference topics, and when I first started working full time with Ashley and her companies, I said we should do a women's conference, and I don't want it to be like men bashing. I mean, like teach these women what it's like how to advance their career. And Ashley said, we don't have to do that. No, we don't do that. This was 2014.
It was, and I was like, we already have a lot of women who come to our conferences. Like,
And I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I didn't fully get
But then,
that. But once I did,
fast forward 3 years, and Ashley knew this woman, a C-level person at a utility, and she said, "Ashley, you should do a women's conference." And she still was balking a little bit.
She wasn't the first one to say it. Yeah.
So I finally
said, okay.
And then the first conference was pretty amazing, and we did that at the Hard Rock in Las Vegas, which is now the Virgin Hotel in Vegas. But anyway, that has morphed. We've seen women. We're on our 8th year of that program, and we've seen women grow, change. We've seen women go from director to CEO.
Yeah, I was going to say we had somebody who spoke at that first conference was a manager at one utility company. She is now the president and CEO of another utility. So it's not just for women, just so you know.
And men need to hear this too.
Yeah, it's all really for anybody who's looking to advance their career and advance their lives. It's not necessarily just for utility folks too, or energy.
We're not talking about energy topics.
We do not discuss energy topics. We really talk about how do I get that next promotion?
And
how do I get a raise? How do I negotiate?
And the interesting part, I think, when your career starts off, you go to high school, you go to college, maybe you go get your post degree program, you can master's or doctors. And when your career first starts off until you're probably about 32, it kind of looks like this perfect slope. You've done everything you're supposed to do. You've checked all the boxes. When you start going higher up that chain, it looks more like a jungle gym. You're moving all up and down and understanding that's the process. And it's not against you.
Right.
It's just that this is the process of growing and becoming a bigger version of yourself and your career growing. And we've witnessed this thousands of times. And women, women tend to hold on that they want that straight.
The steady climb. Well, and what's interesting about that conference too is I think in many cases we get so busy living our lives, and this is everybody, not just women. We sort of forget to stop and look around and say, oh, here's where I am, but here's where I want to be. Or even saying, hey, that, what are my options? What are the other opportunities that are out there that I may not even know about?
I know sometimes we discuss at that conference goal setting for yourself, your career, your life. And there are certain women in that room that go like, goal setting? Like, why do I need goals?
Right.
And I guarantee you, if you don't plan out your career, somebody else will. And that's with anything. And that's with anything. But that's what this conference helps shed the light on, and helps women in the energy industry and other industry. We've had other people, other industries in that room.
Absolutely. It really is all professional development, and it really does focus on what is it that you're looking to make happen in your life, and what are the steps you need and the skills you need to achieve them faster.
And over the course of the last 8 years, I believe over 3,000 women have attended that conference.
Yes.
With us. So
so that one is also in September. It is September 17th and 18th, also at Southwest Gas. And also it's being offered in person and virtually. So if you're interested to send your women's ERG, which we see a lot of opportunities to send. We have an unlimited virtual ticket, so reach out to us.
Now, as we say this, we always have conferences. What are we going to do next? What's the next topic we're going to bring into our mix? We were doing social media for a while. It seems like people are pretty well versed on social media. Yeah. The need for that conference is no longer being asked for. We are looking at knowledge transfer. The next 15 years.
Knowledge transfer and succession planning.
The next 15 years, not just utility industry, all legacy industries are going to see the biggest transition of people retiring, moving out of their current position. Some of these people, especially in the utility industry, it's not uncommon to have a 40-year veteran working there, 40 years at the same company.
But if you've been in the utility or energy industry, what you've probably seen in the past 10 years or so are professionals who retire and then get hired back as a consultant because they have so much knowledge and so much experience.
And the workforce coming up is nowhere near as large as the workforce that's in there.
So there's a major gap.
And
it's a cause of panic for a lot of the utility professionals and leaders that we talk to. Nobody's quite figured out how to do it. But if you guys are
that's not true. We have a couple people who figured out how to do it. They don't know where to begin.
Right.
It's a big project.
That's probably it is ginormous. But if you don't do anything, then you won't have done anything.
I guarantee if you don't do anything, someone will do something for you.
Oh.
They'll either take over your company, or if you're a municipality, the government will take over your operations.
And there are some creative opportunities out there for utilities and other organizations that work with trade skills. That
if you want a steady career, the energy and utility industry is not a bad place to be. No one knows. We've been doing these conferences actually no longer than I have, but I've been in the rooms for 15 years now on some of these conferences. I've never heard someone say, wow, when I was in school, I wanted to work for the utility company.
But
no one ever said that.
It's a great place to have a career, and even
though I did say, ironically, when I was in college, I wanted to work for an oil company.
Well,
that's why I'm in school for petroleum engineering.
But still, what I think is so exciting too, and we talk about this at especially at the women's conference, is you can have 3 different careers and 10 different jobs and different career paths just within one utility organization. You can work in customer service, you can work in finance, you can work in risk, you can work
in the field.
There's
the number of women we've heard that worked in nuclear.
Yeah,
it's huge.
So many opportunities. So anyway, the upshot of this is if you're interested in the knowledge transfer and succession planning conference idea, put a note in the chat so that we can, or in the comments so that we can reach out to you.
And the other conference we're working on is AI, monster topic. us saying AI right now, 30 seconds later, whatever we were talking about is probably past tense. So
Right. That's right.
with
It's a
AI,
fast
it's moving so fast, it's crazy.
It is. And every utility that we've talked to, all the leadership are like, how do we deal with this? How do we leverage this correctly? And how do we protect ourselves from what might be, make us vulnerable? So